Hello, friends.
Oh, we're doing this again.
It's time for the spectacular.
Oh, I'm excited.
A jumbo series of live shows.
Cool.
With guests whom you all know.
We sure do.
We got all you need in the TV Co app, which is free. We're talking everyday life with BB alums, old school, new school. It's all epic fun. So let's get started, friends, because us three got a lot to discuss.
We do.
It's time to enjoy the show.
It is.
Let's see who'll be joining us.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah.
You're doing great.
Guess who's enjoying the intro?
Hooray!
It's me, and I'm sorry, Nicole, I tried for you, but we got guests. We gotta start the show. Go, Nicole, start the show. Start it now.
Fine.
Hey! Hello, Nicole.
Hello, Eric. How are you?
I made a bad life choice. I can't even lie. Someone gave me a pink grapefruit chapstick for Christmas, which I can't stand chapstick, and I was just putting that on quickly, and we're going downhill already. Anyway, Nicole.
Yes.
I have to let everybody know. What?
Speaking of downhill very quickly, for the record, I have on a sweater. It is a pink, fuzzy sweater. It is there. I swear it is. But for some reason, it's filming as me looking nude. So just for the record, I have on a top.
And just for the record, I know you don't like this phrase, it's your phone. We can all see you perfectly. No one was questioning it. Now, other things nobody should question. What you should do before we kick this show off for real. And that's make sure that you are following wherever you guys are watching this. Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitch. Of course, in the Hello Friends community in the free TV Co app. That is a way that you guys can participate in all the interactive parts of these shows. Of course, sharing is caring, so share right now. Let everyone know that we are live, or if you're watching this back in the future, share it then too. Maybe there's a Facebook group that you think would like this show. A family member, grandma, she wants to spend more time with you. So share it, because sharing is caring. And what about if they're listening to the podcast version, Nicole?
If you are listening to the audio version of the show, be sure to please leave it a 5-star rating and a positive review, as well as share it with all the podcast listening friends and family members in your life. Like, again, Grandma. If Grandma can't work the video version, you could just put this in her ear holes and she can enjoy it, and she'll be forever thankful. You're welcome, Grandma.
My grandma told me to stop touching her ear holes. However, maybe you guys are like, we don't know where to find these things. Where do we click? What do we do? Where's your social media? Where's the shows? Just head over to hellofriendspod.com. Click on the Find Us Live page. There you can find our schedules, all my socials, Nicole's, and of course, the shows as well. Now, that being said,
not
Nicole,
social security numbers, social media.
Yes, social media, they can find, some people said they were unaware that we had Big T on Sunday. Yes. You can check out Big T from the challenge if you guys missed that show, because it wasn't a live one. And then after this show, they are kicking off Night 2 of Faraway Bay here in the TV Co app, an online dating reality TV show that you guys also control. So that's a lot of fun. But Nicole.
Yes.
You know what's more fun?
I know what's more fun.
Well, why don't you tell me?
What's more fun is racing around the world with two tremendous human beings, our friends. Today on the show, we have not one trouble, but double trouble. It is the fabulous, the wholesome, the freaking amazing, adorable Leo and Alana.
Welcome, Leo and Alana.
Hey. Folsom's here.
Yeah.
How are you guys doing?
Doing all right.
Good.
It snowed here, so it's kind of magical outdoors, so that feels good.
And you guys are in Boston?
We're in Boston. Yeah. This is like one of the first snows of the winter, so it just feels, otherwise it's miserably cold.
We deserve it. Yeah. Alana turned 30, so we celebrated that recently. Just life updates.
Yeah. And that's really the only things that are going on in our life are the weather and my birthday.
And trying to sleep through the cats.
Well, I guess that wraps up this show then. Have a good night, everybody. We will see you guys later. 30 cats, snow, and we're out. Bye. Easy show, everyone.
I know.
How cats. Eric is not a fan of cats. 2 cats. Oh, they have 2. Oh, you don't like them either.
No, we don't like Eric for not liking them.
Oh,
You
I was like,
could
why
try
do you
and-
have them?
You could try and sell me on it, but I do have proof that while you sleep, cats sit on your chest and suck out your soul when they're not busy clawing at you with their death daggers for attention.
You must be mistaking us for dog people. We would not try to sell you on liking cats.
Right,
You
that's
must
true.
simply choose to like cats,
Yeah.
and we wouldn't care either way.
Just like a cat.
Okay, perfect. Then
so
then
we're
we
saying
agree.
It's more so when you're a cat owner, you just let it be. When you're a dog owner, you try to sell people on dogs. That's what the belief is.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm drawing from what I've learned from cats, which is that, so the other, is this a family show? So our cats like to lick our electric toothbrush because
Okay.
it's vibrating, right? And I don't know, they just like the feeling of it. So you'll catch Alana like on her, like squatted on the floor, brushing her teeth, and then the cat will come up and be like,
They'll
and
just lick like the base of it. It sounds way
not the
grosser.
bristles, not the bristles.
It sounds gross. It's probably still gross.
It might be.
Eric is like horrified by this story.
So, and I was also kind of grossed out by it. So I was thinking maybe we can get the cats a toothbrush-shaped vibrating object that they can just have as a toy. And someone on Twitter pointed out to me helpfully that no, the cats have chosen the toothbrush. It is their beloved object. And if I buy something,
They won't want it.
It's just not the same.
But okay, I got this, Eric. Don't you worry. Can
I'm
I
stuck
ask?
on the first sentence, just so you know. I think
Can I
I
ask-
feel like I heard it wrong, but go ahead.
Can I ask? When we're brushing our teeth, you said we are sitting on the floor, or
That-
are we
thank you.
standing?
That's where I was stuck.
And she goes, she
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
This is why we live our private lives not in front of cameras all the time. And I don't know why Leo is telling this story, but
Cat people.
what I do, I'm sure Leo has a video of it, is I just like crouch on the floor while I'm brushing my teeth with my electric toothbrush. And then Sourdough, our cat, will like use my knees as like a perch and then lick the like base of the toothbrush because she likes it.
like the bottom.
It's cute.
So she doesn't normally brush her teeth on the floor, but Sourdough will go up and be like, purr, purr, purr. And then one thing leads to another.
Okay, so the reason for being on the floor is to be close to the cat. It's not like you're like, it's toothbrushing time, getting on all fours to be the
Don't you do
cat.
that? I mean, I thought everyone just sort of brushed their teeth prone, you know? Just,
Look, I don't know what cat people do, but no,
This is
okay,
what-
I get
so
it. I get
start-
it now.
what hopefully will be a weird conversation, I suppose. So here we are.
Oh, I love it. The weirder, the better. And no,
Amen.
this is not a family show. You can feel free to curse. I tend never to do any of it first because then Nicole's the one who has to like fill out all the forms with the places like, this is not safe for work. This is explicit. I don't have to do any of those things. But let me tell you, the second Nicole lets an F-bomb drop, I'm in. Then I will make this show X-rated so quick. Just don't want her
And
to
I'm
blame
usually
me.
the bad one that like initiates it. I'm usually more so the cursor, which I guess you wouldn't necessarily think.
Well, we didn't bring our totally see-through sweaters today, so.
Yeah, you've already done things on a really racy foot. So.
Yeah, I mean,
It's an X-rated show.
Nicole's now broken the seal on that, so
Yeah,
we're good to go.
we'll be naked by the end
Yeah,
of the episode.
second
don't
half.
worry.
you know, I do see already, Nicole, that chat is asking that they're hoping that we're going to have Leo and Alana weigh in on controversial things that we have argued about in the past, and everyone is saying seems like a great time to ask about the brushing the teeth in the shower.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Wait, hold on. I gotta preface this. I guess I shouldn't lead the witness, though. I shouldn't lead the witness.
You should just ask
Do
the question.
you? Or do you not brush your teeth whilst showering?
Would
I-
you?
I do not. I never in my life have done that.
I love it because here's the thing. And Nicole, I feel like you'll appreciate this.
Everything just dribbles down.
Here's my pitch. One, I'm sort of a messy toothbrusher. That's a truth about me. Also, that everyone should know. I usually get toothpaste everywhere. I'm not clean.
It's like a sprinkler.
But here's the thing. Every single conditioner and like the fancier, like especially like if you're not buying like whatever, the 99-cent store brand is like, leave the conditioner in for 5 minutes, like all this shit. And I'm like, what am I supposed to do in the shower for 5 minutes while my conditioner is making my hair look all nice? And the answer is I brush my teeth, I floss, I wash my face, I like dance around, and then my hair looks all nice.
You wouldn't want to be caught just doing nothing.
Well, I don't want to stand in this. What a waste.
Yeah.
I'm a good little American, like capitalist. I need to be spending my time well.
Okay, and you're saving money. You're not wasting water.
I think that's probably part of it because I'm a Californian, and so we can't be wasting water in the shower.
True. Like when I have the conditioner in, that's typically when I shave, or typically when I wash my face. I do not brush my teeth in the shower, so I'm like Leo. Would I ever attempt it? I don't think so. There's something about, I don't know.
I think I'm not sure I know why I don't do it, to be honest. Nothing's jumping out at me. It's like a lot of wet on wet happening.
It's all wet. It's the shower.
Yeah, and I think that also, like, it's something that I'm just so used to doing in the mirror. It's like I'm able to keep an eye on things.
Leo also is like probably has the best oral hygiene of anyone that I've ever met. Like when we first started dating, like full preface here, my ex-boyfriend would like brag about how he only brushed his teeth once a day. He was disgusting. And I met Leo, and Leo was like, he flosses 3 times a day. He brushes his teeth all the time. He has like little flossers in the car. And I was like, it is such a.
But I don't use flossers generally. That's only when my hand's on the wheel.
Yeah.
To be clear.
But he needs to have flossers in his car because he like needs floss when he needs floss.
When I need
like
floss,
the world will break down if there's not floss around.
Well, and it's also like when I need it, I can't really wait. So I used to leave the house, and when I did, I had like a container of floss in every bag that I would bring around. You know, 'cause it's just easy, and it doesn't go bad.
But wait, have you flossed while driving?
Absolutely, but with a flosser because I need 2 hands.
Wow.
You have one of those little picky things.
It's like a little plastic, very wasteful device that you just, you know.
This sounds very, very dangerous. I'm very worried about the flossing.
We're in
Nicole,
Boston.
Did you never have a friend in high school who would like eat cereal while driving with their knees?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, that's
the girls that put on mascara.
Yeah. Like flossing is way better than that. Like I just always had I had one friend who would like fully eat breakfast while driving us to school, and I was like, you know, like I don't know, I was 16 and the world was
like flossing by definition. Flossing by definition, I don't have to like be looking at anything to do it, so I can't actually read the road signs while I'm flossing.
My fear is more so, you know, you're driving and like someone in front of you stops short, so you go to stop short, and now you have the flosser in your mouth, and you're like.
It's very reasonable.
You could floss too deep accidentally in that moment.
I love that.
It's fine. We don't leave our house anymore, like ever. So none of this is all hypothetical.
I've been saving up all my flossing jokes for this moment. No, I don't get to talk to other people normally.
Eric, so am I to assume that you brush your teeth in the shower because Nicole doesn't, or are you guys both anti?
Oh, no. I am very much a teeth brushing in the shower person. And I don't understand how anyone is not an in the shower brushing person.
I agree.
What are the benefits, Eric? Like, do you actually enjoy it more?
I mean, I feel it is time saving. I mean, as you said, Alana, I don't know why you wouldn't. You got time while that shampoo's in your hair. It's an easier cleanup situation. There's a million reasons why it's just a better experience all around. You don't have the disgusting toothpaste on the like around the sink and like crusting in your sink.
If you drop that toothbrush, it is now by the drain.
Well, I'm an adult with fingers and appendable appendages, so I know how to hold something.
I'm worried about Nicole's shower that she's got all this gunk in it.
Yeah.
I always this brings us to another argument. Like, I don't necessarily like baths unless I take a shower first because of gunk. I don't like seeing a piece of my hair go floating by. I don't like seeing a piece of fuzz from my toes go floating by. Like, ugh, I can't. I cannot.
I agree with you on that. Baths have always been disgusting to me. You're sitting in your own filth and it's supposed to be fun. I don't like it. Leo loves baths. He's a little princess.
I rinse off a little first, and then I fill up the bubble bath.
Yeah. With my best friend, like years ago, bought me like mermaid sparkle scented bubble bath, and like Leo's the only one who uses it.
Yeah, I've been working my way through it. We didn't take any baths on the race. Our clothing took baths.
Our clothing did take baths.
How does that work? Do you bring like clothes that you just get rid of? Like, how do you wash them? Do you not wash them while you're on the race? How does that work?
We had like a finely tuned operation by the end where we would like do everything in the bathtub with laundry strips.
Yeah, we packed little laundry strips that looked like Crest. What are those called? Listerine strips. They're like pull
bigger,
out.
like
Well, they weren't that much bigger actually.
Listerine strips that go in your mouth are like this big.
Oh, you're right. You're right. They're really little. I don't know.
I like the size of a tissue.
And then we would like wash our clothes in the tub and then dry them out and hang them around. And then like often you'd be in a crunch and I'd be like blow drying our socks. And then other people didn't do. What I know that Haley and Kaylin, I know. So
what do you do with the strips? You put them in water and they like
in the bath, and then you just sort of like old school it.
So you could do your laundry at home this way.
Yeah.
Like if you buy these travel laundry strips, and I've thought about it for exercise clothing, like where I, only have a couple of pairs of like tights or something, and then I have to wait until we do the special laundry to have my tights clean. And
Leo's learned about special laundry after he shrunk my favorite wool sweater, and now he knows about laundry.
Everyone I've ever lived with has been enraged by something that I've done with their laundry at one time or another, only trying to help.
Well, and okay, so we would wash our laundry and then dry it out and then like blow dry it if we needed to. And we always had we had 2 changes of clothes. We had the clothes we were washing and the clothes we were wearing. I know that Haley and Kaylin would fully just get into the shower with their clothes on and then wash their bodies with their clothes and then take them off and do the same thing. And then some people, I will not name these teams, just stunk for a majority of the race. And maybe they thought they were cleaning their clothes, but didn't smell like it.
If you guys are allowed to answer, I guess I kind of maybe know the answer, but I'm assuming, is everything that you brought with you in your backpacks and that's all you're working with? Or is there like a secret luggage that's like following you from country to country?
No, it's everything you've got in your pack, which is why our season was really, when we first started racing, we were like, oh shit, this is a crazy season, because Hung and Chi started with one backpack for both of them.
And finished.
Yeah, they and then Aparna and Ishwar, Aparna got rid of her backpack and got rid of basically everything in her. They were racing with one pair of underwear, nothing. And they also only had one pack. And then also Haley and Kaylin and Michelle and Vic all after, what was this, the first leg?
I feel like I got to stick up for Aparna here. I think Ishwar explicitly had only one pair of underwear.
Ishwar was very proud of himself for having one pair of underwear.
Which he claims could be worn in 8 different directions.
Right. And also, I think this is actually quite
okay.
People that
you start to think about it.
You wear punch it back. He was
Aparna, I feel like she had a couple.
She did. Aparna had one. She had a pair of pants that were the zippy off pants that became shorts, and they had one. I think they had 1 or 2 shirts. But
So I had diabetes equipment. This is sort of exception to the rule.
I want to ask you about that.
A lot of my backpack was occupied by it, but then security was willing to carry a couple of backups of some of the equipment, basically.
But it was not backups that we ever planned to use. It was he and I were carrying 4 weeks worth of diabetes equipment in our packs, and then if something were to go wrong, they had extras of some
They basically told me I had to bring additional that then security would carry.
Which ended up being really useful because Leo broke one of his it's called a Dexcom. It's one of the things that it monitors your blood sugar, and it's a little device on you that basically can always tell you your blood sugar. And he installed one incorrectly.
I can show them my new sticker. Yeah. We can get a little racing here. So this is it.
Ow.
And you can see I got this new bling.
But this little thing, basically he can check his, on the race we had a little, it looked like a Tamagotchi, but you can check your phone and then it tells you your blood sugar at all times. It was so funny. Apparently later I learned, I can't remember who it was. I think it was D'Angelo. Thought that we had snuck a phone on because he saw us checking Leo's blood sugar thing, and he was I think it was D'Angelo.
I think so.
He was pissed at.
Oh man, I do actually want to talk a great deal about your amazing race journey. I want to start at the beginning because I heard that you guys did do a lot of training. You guys were studying the flags and you were doing rope courses. What was that preparation like?
I mean, you find out you're on the show, at least people like us who
we're
tryhards who have never been on a show, haven't done anything compared to Gary and D'Angelo or Kelly and Levon, who are experienced with TV and sports and all that, right? So we're this is our one shot. We have to what can we do to prepare is basically the question.
Yeah.
Like, drop everything else. What are going to be our strengths? Like, let's lean into those. What are our weaknesses? Let's shore up those. And that's a real strategic question. Like, do you just sort of not bother to get good at, lifting heavy things if you're not that good at it, and like focus on something that you're already pretty good at, like learning flags, and just strengthen your strengths? Or do you try to like level up your weaknesses?
Yeah. So and we ended up doing a little bit of both. Like we both were doing CrossFit, which was fun. I've like never been in better shape, which was really fun because in the first episode they put us in bikinis and I was like, yes, memorialize body, looking like this, like this is the best I'm ever gonna look. This is great. And then I'm really scared of heights, so I did a bunch of like, and my best friend, actually the one who bought me bubble bath, loves heights and is a rock climber. And so I was like going to her rock climbing, like she was like sneaking me into her rock climbing gym and like getting me used to harnesses and like getting me used to like climbing up to the top of the wall so I could like, fall off the side of it. It was like a lot of that stuff, which was really, honestly, that's one of those things that was really lucky because all of that like ropes course and like rock wall crap, like, and then I had to do when we were in Colombia, I had to do the tightrope circus challenge. And I was like, this is fucking terrifying, but also like, I've got it. Cause I know to like trust harnesses. Like I know how I can, like I've already done some of it. I was actually really lucky.
As somebody with really, really bad balance, watching that, I give you major, major props because I'm already a klutz walking on solid ground items.
And let me tell you, so I have like a birth injury in which my left arm is all messed up and like I can't straighten it, and I have like a really bad sense of balance because so basically the whole left side of my body is like always been sort of messed up, and that challenge was so difficult because I had to use my left arm to balance, to hold this, like the rope to go across it because so my left arm doesn't turn, like I'm trying to figure out this is as flat as I can get this hand. So I had to hold the tray in my right hand. So I had to hold the rope with my left hand. And it was like such a mess because I was like, I am already bad at balance and now I'm having to use my left side of my body for this. And meanwhile, like there's all this circus music and everyone's like booing and cheering at you. And Frank and Jerry are like very much on our tails and are like such a competitive team. And I'm just like,
Frank just walked across.
He did this one go. And I was like, no, athlete teams. Like
Frank was like, well, cool. See you later.
I was just like, we're screwed.
And now, are you the type of person where, you're able to like collect yourself and be like, okay, I got this, or you see somebody else doing it, like, no, I can do it, or you get yourself more worked up? Because I know me personally, I would probably start panicking more and more and start shaking, and that would probably put me in a bad pickle.
At the time, I think I was just like, I need to be done with this task. Like, this is not why we're going to lose. Like, I'm not, like, I think there's such a pressure. Amazing Race is so tricky because you're on a team and then you have these individual tasks and you're like, I am not going to be the reason why my team goes home. Like, it's not even that Leo would never forgive me. Leo would be like, whatever, you tried your hardest and be all proud of me. But like, I would be so mad at myself for being the reason why. So I think I was like, you got to suck it up. And also I had done a lot before we went on, like talking about preparing for the race of like practicing breathing exercises and like practice. Cause I get so anxious. I'm like such an anxious person. I like probably shouldn't have been on the race cause it was like a lot for my poor little heart. But it was like,
what you were just saying. It was very endearing to see Leo say like, you got this, like calm down. I was like, oh my gosh, they're so supportive of each other. That's so nice to see.
Because he knows that's the only way that I won't burst into tears.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, no one wants that, right? And I think there's also like the anxiety of being on the race, but then also like anxiety of seeing yourself on TV, right? Like that's the part that is also like, we didn't prepare for that at all. But I think that at the circus point in the race, that's also a moment where like it was just so frantic, so many teams, like everyone was pretty bunched up. I wasn't in Alana's head, but I could see in that moment just basically saying like, there's no time to freak out right now. Like this is not working really, but like yeah, it was a mess. And I was like, I felt like I was not so early, yeah. And yeah, I mean, it's the second leg. You're like, you don't really have the hang of things ever. Right. But like, you're not even centered enough to freak out at that point. Yeah, I feel like everything. Yeah. Maybe my state of freak out was just so high. I couldn't be more freaked out.
And speaking of all that like franticism and craziness, I want to talk to you guys about like the U-turns that occurred during your journey on the, it was frustrating to see. I was watching a lot of your journey, and I wanted to hear you guys speak on that a little bit, like how frustrating it was, or if you, I know you're close with people now, but how frustrating it was at the time to be mad at them.
We were, yeah. So at the time, we were like really confused by the move. We really thought that we were like kind of under the radar, and it felt almost random to pick us. That was our perspective at the time. Looking back and kind of talking to Will and James more, I'm not even talking about like forgiving them or anything like that, just understanding what they were thinking. You were totally lost at the moment.
Yeah, and we also knew that they were like we knew that there was no way at the time they were going to tell us like what the actual reason was. Like at the time they gave us some lie about how they thought we were all like they lied and said, I think they said something like they thought that all of the people at the cooking challenge were the people that were like in last place, like competing for last place. And I was like, whatever, that's a good convenient lie that doesn't make sense.
Doesn't really make sense.
Because we all knew that there were teams behind us. Like we were all very aware of that. And like, it just felt, we knew, we were like, we didn't know a lot, but we were like, we know that they're game playing. We know they're here to win, and we know they're lying.
Here's the thing. Looking back in that moment, once we realized we didn't understand their motives, I actually think when we talked to them in the boat afterwards, I actually think their team and our team were on the same page about how we were not going to be explaining the situation to each other straightforwardly. Like right. It was like diplomacy. Like they were gonna say something, we were gonna either pretend to believe them or not believe them. But either way, they knew that we weren't really listening to their words. And then we were just going to go on, and we knew that they weren't our friends in the race.
Right. And it, but like that was, sorry, go ahead. Yeah. It was just,
I was going to say, what's very interesting about that from like the fandom point of view is I know that's kind of changing the trajectory of future seasons of Amazing Race. I've heard a lot of like rummagings and rumors about, it's unfair that people work together. It's unfair there's bigger alliances or people target certain people. Obviously it's different when you're in it, but like looking at it as a viewer, as more objectively, what is your view on people being in big alliances and kind of teaming up together against other teams, if that makes sense?
You wanna?
Sure. Yeah, I have a pretty clear opinion on this. So I think that targeting another team is fair, strategic. I recommend it. We basically did that by helping to get Kelly and Lavon eliminated, even though they said later it was just the taxi driver, which I guess it was, but that was our thinking. Given that Will and James, I guess, thought we were the biggest threat outside of their alliance, which we didn't know about, like we weren't aware of the alliance, but like makes perfect sense. Target the biggest threat outside your alliance. Like, why not? You're trying to win. I don't really think that's controversial at all. Now, helping other teams answer a challenge, the way the rules are set up, again, there's nothing wrong with doing it.
Right. It's the like Leo and I both.
Why not change the rules so that it's like a little more inconvenient, or there could even be a penalty against against that.
Like if you've watched previous seasons, like you get a penalty if you help your teammate. So if I had like somehow figured out that the answer was sauerkraut and seen it and like hollered at Leo sauerkraut, we would have been penalized like 2 or 3 hours probably.
Wow.
Because, and actually it's sort of unfortunate because there were none of those kinds of penalties our season, but like that happens usually once a season. Like one team will mess up somehow and people are really careful about it. Like, that's something that and it could, because
totally
it could really screw you. Yeah. So you're just sitting there on the sidelines, like, you got it, babe. Like you can do it.
Like in the finale when they saw, when Hung saw the little toy.
Right. Like Hung could never have told Chi that she saw that baby because they would have been like penalized up the ass. Like for a finale, who knows?
So why not have a similar rule?
So the producer should have a similar rule. Like, I think that this is all on production, and I feel really impressed with Will and James for figuring out how to like play the rules of the game to win. Because like the point of the game, like the thing that's interesting is I feel of two ways about this. Like as a person racing to win $1 million, it's genius. Like they played to win the $1 million and they played within the rules. And like, I am impressed and good on them. Like as a game player, that's incredible. And I wish we'd thought of it. As a viewer and like a person who's been a lifelong Amazing Race fan, it sucks. It sucks so hard, right? Like it is not why you watch the show. It is not what you want to see. And so that's hard because like, and who knows how it would have panned out differently if they hadn't helped each other. Like, you know, that's a hard thing for, like, we play that game in our head all the time. And the answer is we always would have been eliminated in Kazakhstan because we can't count. But, like, you wonder how else the season would have.
I also think we have to distinguish between, like, going after another team by sort of helping a team versus you turning a team. Like, to me, it's just sort of beyond ridiculous when people say, like, you shouldn't U-turn someone when you're in first place. Like, the U-turn board is there for you to use it. It's literally part of the game.
And, like, the only reason why we were confused about being U-turned is because we thought they should have U-turned Hung and Chi, who we thought were the real
head. Yes.
And never in our minds did we think that the reason why they didn't U-turn them was because they were working with them. Yeah. And we should have. Like, that's our fault.
We didn't know about the alliance.
That's my fault. More of a Big Brother approach to Amazing Race.
Oh, for sure. They were bringing in, like, all these Survivor and Big Brother elements. And honestly, it's like James watched the show especially. Like,
and
I don't want to.
Will loves Big Brother.
I mean, Will loves it, but I know that James had watched a previous season and seen how the alliances had succeeded, and was like, if I could do this better, I could win. He's right.
James just loves games. Also, like, I played games with him. Hey, Eric. He's so strategic. And so, like, just as a game player, I've learned a ton from him over the last few years.
Yeah.
I was busy. I was very busy contabulating the poll results. We realized that, you know, we were trying to help you, or we were trying to kind of get a little bit of, you know, the audiences, the Hello Friends community, and have them kind of weigh in. Of course, we're going to do that during the show, but we put up a poll or two before you guys came that have been up for the past day or so, because one of the questions that Nicole, asked everyone was, who should you guys work with if you were ever to do a future season? So we know the way things turned out this go round, but Nicole asked the, Hello Friends community, who should they work with? Now, before I show you the results of this poll, who do you think I'll accept is on the poll, or who do you think could have won this poll?
Okay, I think
is this
which team should we have worked with?
Is this of the teams on our season?
Yes, from your season, or maybe not, actually.
I was going to say, it's up to your interpretation.
Okay, well, I would say that the team we should have worked at with our season, I mean, there are a bunch, but my number one team that we should have worked with this season is Michelle and Vic, because they were beasts at challenges. They didn't have anyone else to be working with, and we should have worked with them. Like, I had so many sort of side conversations with Vic, especially where we were like always both too nervous to be the first one to be like, I like you.
Hi there. Hi.
And I was so intimidated by them. I mean, this is true of everyone. Like, we were so intimidated by Kelly and Levon. Like, I couldn't have imagined working with them. Like, I think there's so many teams that we thought were so much of a threat that they wouldn't have wanted to work with us. But I think top of my list is Michelle and Vic.
Wow.
Okay. Well, they are not on our list. However,
well, Michelle is a queen who should be on every list. So that's
I went more the friendly route. I went based on a real life depiction of the friendships I've seen and the friendships that I think are built.
Okay.
So,
it'll make sense.
That being said, with 57% of the vote, we have Will and James, of course.
All right.
Second place is Nicole and I with 15% of overall votes.
James should get a handicap. I mean, they won the race, so everyone's going to pick them.
Right.
No, but I would have
impressive.
I would have played it how they played it.
But they won. I'm just saying, like, if you're going to, I guess, who should you have worked with could mean so many different things. Like, who would be enjoyable to watch? Who would you make lifelong friendships with? Who could you, like, clean up on the race with? Depends on what you're after.
It's true. And the blonde bandits, Haley and Kaylin, of course. I mean, we had, like, a fake alliance with them that we called it the Shitty Alliance, in which we, like, never really worked together, but we
never really sealed the deal.
After the season, we were like, fuck, we really actually should have worked together.
Aw. I think our community, is judging. Of course, they're going to vote a little bit for us, but I do know, having Will and James on the show previously, I think our community adores them. So if you guys were all to play again in the future, I think they would like to see that teaming up of four of you.
We would absolutely.
They would also and I actually haven't watched the James one. I haven't watched the Will and James one, I must confess. Leo and
They
James.
talked so badly of you guys, so bad.
Yeah,
We had to like calm them down. They started cursing. We were like, guys, calm down. That's not nice. It was horrible.
It's good for them. It's good for them to unload, some of these emotions that they keep pent up.
Truly, like Leo and James are like best friends who text more often than Leo and I texted at the height of our dating. And that's not because like Leo didn't like me. It's because I was a bad texter. Like Leo and James are like,
I was reading the room.
They're on the horn constantly. And I'm just like, it's great that the race gave them
the horn. I'm going to be using that more often in business.
My mom always says that. You're on the horn all the time.
Yeah, here's the thing about if I ever played a game with James, and we do play, like we play virtual games, right? But like if I were on a show or like one of these any kind of strategy game that was like a big game with a prize or whatever, I mean, I feel like he would take me to the end and then stab me in the back.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
I feel like working with James at this point puts you in such a everyone
and then
knows
I'd have
he's
a
a
target
game
on my
player.
back anyway.
You have to I wouldn't want to work with them at this point because everyone knows they're good game players, and I'm trying to win. I would throw him under the bus immediately.
It's sort of right. It's almost like a biblical thing. Right. I would try to convince people to get rid of him as soon as possible.
ASAP.
Right. But it's also like there's triple reverse psychology there. Like this is now on recorded and he's going to hear me that. I'm going to say like, well, that's just what I would tell people, obviously. Right. Like, and that's what I learned from James.
I like this next question because the truth is that Leo's cousins who are between the ages of 5 and 2 call us all Lilana. Which is not on this list, but is like a sort of amalgam of all of them, so it's quite fun.
I love it. Well, Nicole, what was your thought with this poll, Nicole?
So the thought process was, on Amazing Race, they have like the racers, but on Big Brother, they tend to do showmance names for the showmances. And you guys were dating at the time. So if you guys were on Big Brother, the fandom would make a showmance name. So we asked the Hello Friends community, which one do you lean more toward? Do you like Leolana or a Leo?
Great.
Yeah, so
Leo took the cake. Not by much. Like they're pretty split even. I do like them both. I like Leolana personally, but a Leo won.
A Leo.
La Leo. Yeah. La Leo. I don't.
Or you just completely morph them like Alana, Leolana.
Trying to work through is not to be overcritical of the poll, but I don't like that my whole name is in both options, right? Whereas Alana's name is a little truncated.
It's because he's got
That's what happens.
It's simply the reality.
When you have a better name, I guess you just get to keep it.
It's why she is not America's favorite player anymore. She doesn't know how to make good polls.
It's really important.
You should have asked our 4-year-old cousin, is basically what I'm saying.
That's true.
Blaming her. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
But it is, I feel like I would, Nicole, I don't know why Nicole put me on that list because as I have told everyone and everyone is well aware, I know I would not ever play Amazing Race because I wouldn't be able to do it. I don't like airplanes. I don't like heights. I don't like eating gross things. I don't like any of the parts of the actual game Amazing Race that I would do.
Airplanes, because the rest of that stuff doesn't always happen, and you can just make your partner do it. So, like, as long as Nicole Nicole doesn't like heights either, so you got to pick a better partner. But like, as long as Nicole, like, I was like down to eat all the gross food, right? And I knew that Leo would do height stuff, and so together we were like, great, good. I was like, I'll eat a cow's eyeball or whatever.
That's what I would do. I know I'd do the eating stuff.
Yeah.
Nicole, we're always jealous of the Big Brother challenges, like when they're like swinging around on hot dogs being squirted with condiments. That's
our favorite challenge. We would love to do every single Big Brother challenge.
Yeah.
That was our first one. My first season was the hanging on the log and getting pounded with paint. And I did relatively well. I mean, I know a lot of people threw it, but regardless, I did very, very well. And I was actually proud of myself that I was one of the top half of people that lasted. But that's one thing I will say about all reality TV shows. I just love, it's things you wouldn't do in your normal life. When are you ever going to hang from a log and have someone squirt paint at you? So that's what I like about The Amazing Race as well. It's an excuse to, okay, this food looks gross, but I don't want to let my partner down, so I'm going to taste it, or I'm going to eat it. So like it forces you to do stuff that in a typical day-to-day, you'd be like, nah.
Yeah.
I think between the big 3 shows, like Survivor challenges always take themselves seriously. Amazing Race challenges sometimes take themselves seriously and sometimes they make you dress in a chicken suit. Big Brother, I just love the aesthetic of like, the challenge matters in terms of the show, but it will not take itself seriously. Like you will be riding on a pony trying to like chuck donuts on a baseball bat.
Yep.
Well, I think then that this is the perfect segue, Nicole.
You got it.
To do a live poll for everybody watching right now. What show do you think that Leo and Alana should do next? So you guys know the deal. Wherever you are watching, you can put #1 for Amazing Race, #2 for Survivor, #3 for Big Brother, and #4 for the challenge. So you guys...
We just started the challenge, and I saw that you had Big T on, who I love. We're behind, so like I'm worried that she got eliminated, but I don't know for sure, so don't tell us.
No spoilers.
Okay, then no spoilers.
Yeah, but I'm really into it. It's really great. What's his name? TJ is like the least bothered. He's such an unbothered host. Like he's like, you guys suck. I do better. Bye. And I'm just like, what?
Is this the first season of the challenge that you've watched?
We watched one other one. We watched
29, which was Invasion. And we also watched like one episode of season 21 or 19,
which we
maybe.
Could not do.
Yeah.
Okay, because he gets very bothered.
Okay.
But well, we definitely don't know him well.
As opposed to like Phil or like Jeff or any of the other like the CBS who are like, I really care about and I'm like super invested in you guys and like I really like I'm gonna ask you really thoughtful questions. TJ's like, sup? Wait, you do a really good TJ too.
Yeah, so he'll be like, Nicole, that was really awesome. Eric, you sure do suck. And it's like, I don't know.
Relevant, very relevant.
Yeah.
It's really fun.
I almost feel that way about Phil, like watching him like speak to you guys at each checkpoint. I feel like he kind of, I don't know, like he kind of, I shouldn't say hits you where it hurts, but he kind of hits you like, well, why do you think that team did that? Do you think they did it because of this? And it's kind of like, oh, damn,
Phil. Yeah. He's got like a little news anchor in him. I also think the unfortunate thing is, especially
like TJ doesn't ask you questions.
No,
he
TJ doesn't care about who you are. Yeah, he's like, I've decided that you haven't tried hard enough and I'm disappointed in you.
Get off my show.
Yeah, you can't compete in my finale. Phil has like, you chit chat with Phil at the mat for like a lot longer than it's shown. And it's sort of unfortunate because Phil says some funny stuff and like it very rarely, I feel like especially our season, like it never got shown.
Yeah. In the YouTube behind the scenes videos,
I have like a very strong memory of when we were finishing the Amazon leg. And we were running with a bag that had a machete sticking up out of the front of the bag because we had continued to carry our stupid machete from that leg.
Oh.
For slicing the fish.
And Leo was running up this like super narrow flight of stairs in the boat where Phil was waiting, and the machete was like this close to his dick, and he was wearing tights. And I was like, Leo, watch out! And Phil, we get to the mat, and Leo like realizes what's going on and sort of like moves the bag, whatever. And we get to the mat, and Phil's like, I heard you might need what's under those tights. And I was just like, I wish this made it. It was such a great moment. And I was like, damn, I'm never still making a dick joke.
That was the same check-in when he was like, how do you guys kiss with all your glasses?
He asked us, Nicole, how we kiss with our glasses. And I was like regular people. Like, it was such a crazy, I was like, Phil.
What does he think? Like, people like headbutt? Like, hold on. Okay.
He was like each other. I was like, no, Phil, like your nose is like, I was like, what are you talking about?
We have to replace them all the time.
Oh my gosh, that is funny.
Here's what I think. I have to say this. I understand why Will and James love you.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that you are hysterical, and I think that you are sort of people, and I feel like we need more of you on our TVs, and I'm trying to think where I would put you. Oddly enough, based on the voting of the people watching live, it still is the challenge.
Yeah.
They think that you guys should go on the challenge.
Really well at the challenge.
Well, let me rephrase that. if I may, Alana would not do the challenge. Right?
I don't blame you.
I'm not strong. I'm just not like, I think the thing about the challenge is I'm not like a physical person. Like we were watching I love The Bachelor. I love like Full Context and The Bachelorette. Like I love those shows. And yesterday's episode was the one where they like fight each other. They have like a boxing match.
It's supposed to be like fun, but it never goes.
Yeah, and all these like poor hot women who are like all upset because they just want to like have sex with this one guy and they're mad at each other. And I was just like, I wish there was no violence. Like I never want to touch another person's body that's not totally consensual. Is how I feel about it. And I feel like the challenge is filled with like, no, you must like grab this woman by the head and flip her over 8 times or you're out. And I would just have such a hard time with that.
I think in that like vein, you and I, Alana, are very, very similar, which is funny because in our Hello Friends community, Nicole, a fan, compared your Amazing Race style to my BB21 style. And it is true because we both had like the boob tubes with the muscle tees. I think I even own that green muscle tee. I wore it in the BB21 house.
I do. I found it. It's right here.
About it. I watched that episode and was like, that's my shirt.
Eric, that's the most horrible picture of me. Alana looks so nice and I'm itching my armpit.
Also something Alana might do.
That's true. I love him.
Here, I would do the challenge in a heartbeat. I'm new to the show. I'm new to watching it, as we've discussed. But like all that physical competition stuff, I would really enjoy. I would be going up against almost entirely people who would be larger, although I am bigger than Hunter from season 29, I want to say, the invasion. Anyway, the point is I like wrestling with Gary and D'Angelo. I like sort of pushing myself in that way. I think I'd have a lot of fun with the social game because I think this is kind of like what you were saying, Eric. Like I'm probably not what most of the other competitors would be expecting from a guy. And so I'd have a lot of fun poking at them. I don't love everything that Shane in Invasion does. Actually, I mostly like Shane. Yeah. So I was getting him confused with the guy from this season who was smug and I don't like as much. Devin. Yeah. But Shane is like Shane
That's
has
my nemesis. He doesn't know it, but he's my nemesis.
Everyone's got an
turtle up when she talks about stuff.
Shane from Invasion, he is not quite as nasty and smug as Devin, but there was a moment when he actually was his whole strategy of winning for a moment was getting some of these bigger guys to basically punch him and get eliminated. Mm-hmm. I would absolutely have my nose broken to get someone eliminated on that show. That would be a badge of honor.
Here's the thing.
You would get kicked out for that on Big Brother because that's baiting.
Oh, you'd get Yeah,
Big Brother. If I went up to someone and went, "Go ahead, hit me," you that's it. You're done.
Yeah, because all the times we've seen the people get removed from Big Brother for that.
Okay,
exactly.
I actually didn't know that. Well, what if it's a little more subtle?
Yeah, I feel like Leo would just say a bunch of annoying things to get hit. And then he would get hit, and then
I think as long as you're cool about it, just be the person's face, whatever.
He would give you his stupid little Leo. When you're I know I'm right smile. I feel like he can't do it on demand. No. Anyways, it's not even Leo's first time breaking his nose because he broke his nose at his 5-year college reunion doing clapping push-ups. So Here you go.
I mean, I like strength or weakness. When I'm up against some people, not up against fighting, because I'm not going to fight anyone, but when I'm in an environment with some of those guys in the challenge, who I'm sure most of the time are perfectly lovely people, but I am pugnacious enough to give them kind of a look that will set them off. And then I might run away.
I mean, I think I feel like Leo's game is really you would just be good because you'd be underestimated and then you'd win.
And I'd be thrown up in a one of those challenges when people thought I'd be easy bait, and then that could change things.
Yeah, I think the only show that I could ever do, and Nicole, I hats off to you for doing Big Brother because it is just it's so long under such social pressure. I would have broken. Like
No, I was always watching.
like Amazing Race is great.
It took me my second season to show it, but I did.
I just couldn't. It would just be too much for me. I'd be like, I want people to like me. I would have a hard time with that. Like as it was, I had a hard time with like the people that were mean to us on Twitter. I was like, but how come like Stacey 7247 doesn't think I'm funny?
Don't do Big Brother. Don't do Big Brother.
They are ruthless.
We really
things definitely for whatever reason.
No, like we got lucky because Amazing Race is not a so popular a show.
I mean, race fans aren't as there's
not as many of them.
Yeah,
and so they're not as
and
crazy.
You don't have the live feeds, and you don't have. It's not an individual game. Is sort of what James and I have talked about. Like you're a little bit protected because you're like one of two in a team, so people aren't just like going at all in on you as a person.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a less intense experience, I think, than some of the other shows.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. What now? You guys met on Tinder, correct? Okay, now who, like, I don't know the way the dating apps work. Did one of you have to contact the other one first? Like, who made the first move?
Okay, Eric. So this is a good story that I've told, and I will try to tell like maybe a condensed version of it. I don't know.
It's probably people.
You're right. Okay, so here's the story. So it was snowing, actually, much like it is tonight. So nestling for a great story. And I was with my roommate, who she and I were having a conversation about how I thought we were both like someone had called her a 7 and she was upset about it, and I was like, we're both 7s. And then she was upset that I said that, and I said, how can we tell for sure that we're both 7s? And so we decided that the way to do that, also like after a bottle of wine, we decided the way to do that is to message the last 10, each of us would message the last 10 guys we'd matched with on Tinder, like whether or not they had ever texted us or whatever.
This is science.
With the same exact message.
We believe in science in this house.
And then how many of those men reply? So obviously that's our market. Like those are guys that already decided they liked you enough to type on you on Tinder. So
and you swiped back, so it's
it's like a reasonable like selection of the guys that you would care about. And we each messaged the last 10 guys for science. Obviously. And Leo, like, literally happened to be one of those guys. And so I sent him, like, the same GIF I sent 10 other guys, and I got 7 replies, as did my roommate, because we're both 7s.
So that's how it works. That's how you find out.
That's how you find out. Like, I mean, you could do it today. Like anyone watching. Like,
I don't want to, because it would be, like, 2, and one would be, like, my mom trying to make me feel good about myself.
Well, don't match on your mom. That would be a start.
Don't match on your mom. That would be unreasonable.
My mom's catfishing.
She's just there to like boost your self-esteem. That would actually be sort of.
You got this, girlfriend.
Yeah. And so I messaged, and then Leo was I think I went on one other date with one other person that I messaged, but Leo was like by far the best reply and the best conversation. And I was like, why didn't you message me first? Guess I got to do all the work.
Yeah. And around that time, I had been on dating apps for I don't know, maybe 6 months, and I was kind of over it. Like I felt like I might as well just sort of do other things like hobbies, live my life, and just sort of try that way of meeting people, right? And so right around that time, I had matched with Alana and just like didn't even think to message. Like I didn't message her, right? So a couple of weeks went by, then this happened, and she messaged me a GIF of the little boy from Home Alone waving out the window as snow fell. And this is funny, and I like this. I like the looks of this person and what's in her profile, right? And Tinder's like there's not much in there, right? So you just have to react. And so I was like, roommates, get over here. We have to this has to be a good reply. Like this person isn't going to be interested unless my reply is like good. And so I can't spend too long on something like that, right? Because then it becomes not spontaneous. So I found a GIF of Kim Jong-un in like a motorcade waving to his adoring fans. And that's what I sent back. And apparently it was
funny.
Better than the other 9 guys.
I think it's also like, I just think people are boring on dating apps. And so the minute someone's not sending you back something that's like, hey, like, what's up? Or like, hey, beautiful. And you're like, you don't.
Just hey.
You copy pasted that into like 100 women. Like, it's just such a,
I mean,
the biggest insult is when I get like, hi, Nicole, I'm a big fan, and they put an H in my name. And I'm like, oh no. Like, you don't even know how to spell like my name. You do not know.
Like, they had to do extra wrong things.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I'm sorry, I'm stuck on the fact that you're implying you're on a dating app?
No, I'm saying in general when people reach out to you, I'm not on a dating app.
Okay, because that just really sounded like you were on a dating app.
I agree.
Also how
I agree.
So if you, okay, all right.
Okay, maybe we weren't supposed to say that, but it's a live show, so you're screwed. Look, here's the thing. I was looking around your socials, so now did this end in, what is happening here?
In this photo, we are getting married in our backyard. That's our driveway. It's very romantic. Yeah, we got married. We got married this September.
Yeah, we downsized.
We majorly downsized
our wedding because of our beloved pandemic. I've started speaking of the pandemic fondly to maybe sort of make it just friendlier and go away.
Nice, love that.
Our dear pandemic visited us, and so we made our wedding much smaller. And so it was in our driveway, which actually ended up being really great.
It was great. Yeah,
it was like beautiful.
It was really wonderful. Yeah, we came back, and it's funny because no one knows we're on the race. So we come back. Everyone thinks that we were just like, everyone thought we came back from Siberia because that was our lie. And we got engaged soon after because we got back from the race in December, and then we got engaged in January. And a bunch of my friends were like, "Oh my God, you guys have only been dating for a year."
We were inspired by Will and James.
It's not at all. I feel like
somebody had messaged you like, "Oh, I was expecting a proposal during the race," and you had explained that you waited for the 1 year anniversary, which is lovely.
Oh yeah, well that had been my instruction.
It was just like the race was such an overwhelming. I think what Will and James did was so
it was perfect for
touching
them.
And it was so perfect for them. But like, I mean, as I'm generally overwhelmed as a human being, but also it's like this is such a unique experience. Like I don't need to combine it with another totally singular experience. Like I'd rather have those be separate memories so that my life can feel more like rich and delicious.
That is
I'm a conglomerate.
Wait to think. Nicole's Christmas, and then it's her birthday, the day after Christmas. She wants to get married the day after that, and then there's something else she wants all of her life events in 1 week, and I don't get it.
Yes, I do.
One of the things I've learned about you since following over the last month or so is that New Year's is your favorite holiday. So also a great time of year. Basically,
it's just a week of celebration.
Yeah,
that's great. I mean, I will say, so my grandmother timed my dad's birthday so that it would be perfectly between, perfectly 6 months between Christmas because she was annoyed that her birthday was really close to Christmas and she didn't get on it.
That's a long
But
game.
I wonder, I mean, yeah, she's a very, like, she had a lot of thoughts that were probably all in the wrong basket, but we love her. But I wonder, like, would you ever try to, like, time having kids so that your kids
all the birthdays,
like,
same
would
day.
it all be in this week? Or you just, it doesn't even forget about that?
I'm a very, when it happens, when the conception happens, it happens, when the birth happens, it happens.
You can't have both at the same time of year.
Right. So
my brain just short-circuited thinking about little Nicole's.
Oh my God.
Go ahead.
The idea of sitting down though and telling her kids about how they were conceived during her birthday week and like really just fucking with their whole sense of self. Like that's the kind of thing.
That's part of the talk.
It's part of you preventing them from having sex themselves, right? Like you tell them that when they're like 14.
Right.
That can really. Oh no. It just put me in a weird.
You're also not pregnant for a whole year, so I don't think if you did it.
Oh wow, 3/4 of a year.
Yeah, come on,
true. Well, I'm sorry, Nicole. What was the last thing that you wanted to discuss before we go into our after show?
I wanted to ask, throughout your journey, you guys started your Amazing Race journey when you were dating for about 10 months or so, and now, being married. What is something you learned about yourself throughout that journey or after that journey, or about each other that you didn't know prior? A tough one.
That's a tough question. It's a hard hitter.
Well, we could make the question a little easier, maybe, while still getting at the heart of it, by starting like from when we applied, because we, the sort of from application to the start line, that was like 4+ months, and that was an intense experience in and of itself, right? Like that started about 5 months after we met each other.
Yeah.
And so if you do the math, right, like we met each other, we kind of quickly started spending all of our time together. We like moved in together in that time frame, and then suddenly we were making trips to LA to casting, and like being locked in a hotel for casting, and not supposed to talk about that. But like
the fun thing about being in LA was that Leo got to meet my mom, because my mom also lives in LA, so we would like tack on time, and so that was like it was. But yeah, I think the thing.
So if you compare like that Leo and Alana to like you guys today, what's something that you think has changed the most?
I feel like the boring answer is that we're actually pretty similar. And I think that's probably the thing that I learned is like,
we get this question sometimes.
I mean, and this is true. Like when we were in casting,
we worked as a team, though.
When we were in casting, like we would often be accused of like, oh, you guys are in a honeymoon phase. And like, what, but how are you really going to be when you actually really care about each other? Like, obviously you're still like in puppy love. And I think from that, and even then we were like, listen, this is not our first rodeo. Like we know what we want in people and we know what we don't want in people. And we picked each other very much on purpose. And I think that like that has sort of continued to hold true. Like the way that I feel about Leo has intensified as our experiences have intensified, and like, but
been through different things together.
Yeah. But I think that the only difference is really time. Like I feel like I think it's really sort of crazy. Like, I mean, people ask you this question too when you get married. They're like, "Oh, has anything changed now that you're married?" And you're like, "Not really, no. Like it's all." You know.
I think we probably.
But it's the same thing of like I don't know.
I think we could give some sort of tactical answers, like when we first started this. Like I had never. Well, no, because we went on our third or fourth date. We went on this hike, and it turned out to be way icier than we thought. Because it was. Like Central Mass in Massachusetts, and you gain 100 feet of elevation, and suddenly it's covered in ice. And we didn't have crampons, and so we kind of just like shuffled our way up the mountain, and I was like holding Alana's like arm that was all brittle, because she sort of gets like that when like the ground might come out from underneath her, right? And like that is sort of, but we just like had a good time with it and kept going, and that's what so much of the race was about. If you're ever going on a hike and you don't actually want to go that far, and you want to have like, I'm talking about a date, right? You're on a date and you go on, it's not just a boring hike, right? Like find a mountain covered in ice, makes it more interesting, take it slow, right?
That sounds like the beginning of a date line.
We made it to the top, but like maybe you'll just shuffle around a little bit at the bottom.
And then maybe you'll be buried in the snow.
What?
Yeah,
I don't know what you guys.
I think this is a perfect spot to transition to our after show, because I will ask you for a bit of dating advice, but don't say it now. We will tease it for the after show, which will only be a couple minutes. But I want to hear what advice you guys have for little single old Nicole.
I mean,
I think I love how the after shows are dating advice for Nicole after shows. But we do get a lot of couples on that have, I think it is good for them to help you. So if you guys are.
We save our advice after you're saying, okay, got it.
Yep.
Yes. If you guys are leaving us now, don't forget to follow, like, subscribe, share, 5-star rating, and nice review. We really appreciate it. Of course, we will put the links to all of your socials and where people can find you guys below this show. But what do you want to say to all of your fans who have come out here tonight to watch you guys?
It's still so crazy to think about us having fans.
Yeah.
I just appreciate everyone's good energy. Like you took an hour out of your life to listen to us bumble, and we love you for it.
Yeah. I mean, every single person that we've met people through this experience online who are now like, we just chit chat throughout the day, and they send us good energy and like make fun of me for my stupid tweets. And so I love it.
I love it. It is absolutely amazing. Well, alrighty then, Nicole, final thoughts.
Final thoughts. Oh my gosh, you guys, like I said in the intro, are absolutely endearing, very relatable, real, if you don't mind me saying it, quirky folks like myself. So I really absolutely love it. And I'm looking forward to the after show for my advice of the day, because I got to get me a man's.
I love it. All right, you guys watching in the TV Co-ab, don't go anywhere. We will be right back in 30 seconds for the after show. You guys stay right there. Welcome back, everyone, to the after show.
Hello, this is where things get risky and we all lose our shirts. I'm just kidding. Hello there, TV Co.
Hello, everyone. This is where Nicole asks dating advice.
I know. This is always what happens during the after show. It happened with Cliff. I think it happened with Caitlin. So we'll ask you guys as well. What is your best advice to someone like me who is single and maybe a little
not on a dating app?
Not on a dating app. I'm obviously in the reality realm. Like, what's your advice?
We definitely have no advice on dating in the reality realm, although I guess we do have friends in the reality realm who are dating.
I mean, what's our actual advice?
General advice, yeah.
Yeah, general advice.
Actual advice from weird girl to weird girl. Let's be real. Is whatever your gut is saying is exactly right. Like, I think that there are so many women that I know, including myself, who dated people for like 0 to, 8 years and knew the entire time that it was wrong. And like, I think I guess my big advice to my single self would have just been to like tell your brain to shut the fuck up because your heart knows. And like, when I first met Leo, it was very like, it wasn't like an immediate like, oh my gosh, he's the one for me. But it was one of those things where every time I got to know more about him, my gut was like, yes, and like, there's more here to keep learning about. And I feel like that's all anyone should ever be seeking. But like, you are trying to be dating the wrong people, or you just want to be single, which is totally cool. Everyone can be single forever if they want.
Yeah. So I think I have similar advice, and I've given this to other people before. So it's like, build your life, and this is just generally, right? Like, I don't know what your life is quite like right now. We haven't gotten to that level yet. But yeah. build your life so that you're happier being single than you are with someone until you meet someone who's like special and actually making your life better. Like, one thing that Alana and I were really clear about when we met each other, we were very open with each other about it because we were both very over dating the wrong people, was that we like didn't want to date someone if they didn't actively make our life better. Like, we both were making our life pretty good single. Like, we were pretty, like, it's not that we wanted to stay single or that we were like pretending that we would be happier single, but we wanted to make sure that there was a really high bar, that like life was so good that you have to be pretty special for it to become better, for you to suddenly be like a co-star.
Yeah, I feel like I have so many friends who are like, oh, he stresses me out, but it's really nice to have someone to talk to or whatever. And I'm like, you can talk to me, like, break up with him. Yeah. And then text me. Like, I think that there's so much of that goes on. And I like,
I feel like people are looking for someone to sort of complete their life. No, you complete your life and then you look for someone who gets to be a part of it.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Damn. Thanks, guys. That was really helpful.
We're opinionated,
we
bitches.
We are very opinionated. Also, it's all about your vibes. Like, I feel like people that are like married or dating and like they like pretend like they know something, like, no, we just got lucky and met each other. Like, you could easily be in our shoes, right?
But also, we would have said the same thing a week after we met. Like,
that's true.
That was just a shared
real
opinion.
Dating advice, Nicole, is that you should get yourself on Tinder.
Yeah. What's up with that?
Swipe.
I know, seriously. And I don't know I don't know how this after show works, but maybe this is the after show. Like, what's the deal?
Why are you on Tinder?
Yeah. What's stopping you?
Yeah, what is stopping you, Nicole?
I don't know. I'm afraid of ending up in somebody's trunk.
That's reasonable, but you just don't meet them. You just like have lots. I mean, especially now, you just have Zoom dates. Like, I had one of my friends is meeting a guy for the first time after having gone on like, I think over 2 months of Zoom dates with him. Like, that is passion.
This is brilliant for you, Nicole. You would love that. You get rid of all the social like anxiety issues just from you're just meeting online dates for a while.
I live with my family.
You could just be like, gotta go, bye, and then you could bounce on them and like never talk to them again.
Yes, but meeting somebody in person, at least I'm out and about alone with them in the world. Whereas if I'm doing like online dating, my family's going to be right outside my door like, ooh, she's talking to Mark right now.
Gonna meet your family.
Yeah. If I approve them, I don't want them overhearing me like flirting with like some guy. That's embarrassing.
Okay, so I have two thoughts. One is that I think the trunk thing is real, and it's hard, especially as a public persona, and like thinking of you much more than us. Like,
we're not famous.
That is something that I don't know. At what point do you decide, okay, a person is safe? And I think if you're doing it over Zoom and you can get a few steps farther in the relationship over Zoom, then, and I don't know, I've never done this, but maybe there is a point in Zoom dating when you like. First you meet in a park, right? Like we have friends who have met in a park after Zoom dating. Maybe you could also like have a game night with their friends and your friends, right? Just to kind of see if it all checks out.
Yeah, if they don't have friends, then also you shouldn't date them.
On Zoom. Sorry, to be clear, like Jackbox or something.
Okay, so
Nicole, okay.
I had this fantasy. I'm sure that every person does of like. You meet a celebrity and you pretend like you don't know them, and then they like that you like them for them. So like I was always, running into Zac Efron, and then he would be like, I'm Zac, and I would be like, oh, I'm Alana. Cool, what's your last name? Anyways, I wonder if like the real version of that for grown-ups is like you literally just don't tell people you're a Big Brother, and then like they don't know. Like, I imagine there's a fair amount of people that just wouldn't know.
I think the fear is someone would pretend they didn't know.
But I think you could probably.
That's more what I'm afraid of.
Like, couldn't you suss that out, though? Like,
Yes, you know how? She could let me do it, and I don't know why she doesn't let me make the profile, me go through all the people for her, and then she can just show up on the date live here for us all to watch.
Oh, yeah. Leo is message. Leo's also broken up. Like, here's the thing about it is
I send breakup texts.
So, like,
I should get a cameo for that.
You take both sides of it. So, like, you're matching with people and like, vetting them, but then also you're breaking up with them if they're weird and like also writing this.
To be clear, I'm not saying catfish. I'm not saying lie. I'm saying be like very honest. Like I would never do that to somebody really looking for a relationship. I would be like, here's my friend Nicole. We have a podcast. She's way too busy to date and I want her to. So I'm looking for people that I think would be a good match for her. So and I get look, I know everything I feel there is to know about Nicole. Like, I'm not worried about her ending up in a trunk. If someone throws Nicole in a trunk, all she has to do to get out is just start her normal Nicole-isms. Like, why is it dark in here? Why are my hands tied? Why'd you put that mask up to my face? Why is the light blinking? How do I get out of here? Are you going to let me out of here soon? What's the music you're playing? Can you change the station? What's going on? This isn't fun. Is this bondage? Like, they would let her out of the trunk in 5 seconds. They would be like, and you're out, go.
Okay, so have you heard about the thing, like the PowerPoint dating thing that was happening like right before COVID? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, this is
really fun. Yeah, so I always threatened that I would do this with a friend of mine. So there was like a movement that actually I think was in LA. I actually don't know where either of you are, but I think it began in LA.
Nicole's in Strong Island, obviously.
Of course.
Bohemia.
Where's that right?
I'm like
he
one
lives
town
like
over.
10 minutes.
Okay, got it. Well, anyway, I think it started on the West Coast, but the idea, the point of it basically is that you go to bars, and there were a bunch of the bars that right before COVID that were doing this, in which you make a 5-minute PowerPoint presentation for your friend, and you pitch them, and then single people go, and you then vet the people. So like you present, if the single people like them, then they can go up to you and be like, oh, I really like your friend Nicole. What's her number? Yeah. And if you decide that they're worth it, then you can give them Nicole's number.
And it's like so on the part of the viewer that like they have at least one friend who's willing to make a PowerPoint about them.
But I just think it's also sort of a fun, like the people that are going to PowerPoint presentation for singles are like our kind of people.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Eric, you gotta get on that. I want a whole montage video with special effects and like me soaring across the screen. Like you gotta really sell it.
Yeah, and I feel like that's part of it. Is just like, how do you make the most embarrassing but also honest dating PowerPoint? Nicole, I think it could be
some
great.
word art.
You should just make it anyways, Eric, and then like just to have it.
I'll go right on that. There is no doubt that I could pick the best, like, partner for Nicole. I know that if I was the one in charge picking it, that they would be together forever. She won't let me.
Nicole, I think maybe this is advice. I'm not sure. There's always going to be a reason not to do it. Like it sounds like it sounds like you're actively not dating. Like there's dating and then there's
Eric,
that's judgmental.
No, it just, I mean, I could be wrong. That's just what I'm hearing about what
Maybe
you're doing.
she doesn't want all of her internet tweeples to know that she's dating and she's on date number 5.
She's secretly dating. You heard it here first.
Okay, well, I guess I don't know what you're doing.
Scoop.
I'm sweating.
I'm getting nervous that you're not like, what are you talking about right now?
I know.
She's not dating.
I'm single.
You want me to answer it for you? Because you're turning so many shades. We are now able to tell that you're not naked with that sweater. Here's the thing. I think, you correct me if I'm wrong, Nicole, she's not dating now because of COVID and she feels that there's not opportunities to date because of that. But I love this Zoom dating thing. I feel like that really is right up your alley.
It's also very Victorian. Like you're not required to like make out with somebody you don't want to make out with. Like they don't even get to see your wrists unless you choose to. Like I think it's quite great.
Wow.
True. I could come like in masquerade gear.
Oh my God, yeah. And honestly, the only person that stuck around for the second date, if you did that on a first date, would be the person you should marry. So that could be great.
The bomb in the fish pool.
Oh yeah, thing. I have this philosophy about like you're swimming around in a pool of fish and you like drop a bomb and the one person you are generally yourself in a way that's like a little bit shocking, and the fish that are still alive are the people that are your people.
It's
like
very...
I thought you said the bomb in the bitch pool.
No.
What is this theory? What is this? I'm the bomb in the bitch pool.
Actually, the name of my first book.
Not what I said.
I love it. Well, look, here's what I want to say. For those of you guys watching us live right now, we have to, sadly, wrap up this after show. But I have a feeling that Leo and Alana will be back around these parts. I already see a Valentine's Day dating special that I already have an idea for. So I think that you guys will 100% be back. However, if you guys want to watch love happening right now in real time, stick around for Faraway Bay right here in the TV Co-app. You can be a part of the show. Pick who the Bay goes on dates with, what they're going to do, and more. Tonight is the first date on Faraway Bay, so you're going to get to be on their live date right now, starting in just a few minutes here. I do actually think they just started broadcasting right now, so you guys go and check that out. Nicole and I will see you all tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern here when we are recording our podcast. And thank you so much, Leo and Alana, for joining us live.
Love you guys.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, you guys, this was so much fun.
We had a blast.
Don't go anywhere. Leo and Alana, everyone else, go check out that show. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. We'll see you all later.
Go.
Bye, friends.